Welcome to the Tatum Christian Variety Show, brought to you by Tatum Creative. Your host, Nicholas Tatum, is ready to have fun with you.
You've unlocked
Special Edition Comedy Compilation Episode.
This episode is a compilation of comedy from past episodes. Enjoy. Welcome to the Triple C Christian Comedy Clips, where I take clips of stand-up comedy from various people in the Bible and share them with you. Today's special is going to be from Samson.
I always like to start off by trying to relate to my audience before getting into my set. Have y'all out there ever been attacked by a lion and had to hurry up and grab him by the jaws and just rip him in half? No? Just me? Okay, this might be a tough crowd. Let's just move on to another one. Have you ever had to strike down 1,000 men and all you had available to you was the jawbone of a donkey? Why are you looking at me like that? Maybe y'all need to read a little more Old Testament. Okay, let's try this one. Have you ever ripped the door off the hinges of a gate and then carried it? Not that evil? Man, what are y'all doing with your faith? I'm just messing with you. You know, I was married once. Any of y'all out there married? Why are we men so weak to the drama of our women? So I told my wife's people a riddle and made a side bet with them for like 30 new outfits. I told them they had 7 days to figure it out. That's all they had. So I'm holding on to the answer until the time is up. Day 1, I'm at home, minding my own business, and my wife jokingly comes up to me and says, "What's the answer to that riddle?" I laugh it off, but I don't answer. Day 2, my wife seriously inquires about the answer to the riddle. I let her know that I'm not going to tell anybody until the day comes. Day 3, my wife just stares at me all day long and doesn't say anything. Day 4, after staring at me for a while, she asks me, "Why don't you love me?" I am confused. That came out of nowhere. I said, "Baby, I love you. Why would you say that?" And she said, "Because you won't give me the answer to the riddle." I say, "This again?" And then I kind of just walk off. Day 5 comes, and there's tears and more, "Why don't you love me?" Day 6, even more tears and more, "Why don't you love me?" Day 7 comes, and the question changes to, "Why don't you trust me?" She tells me how marriage is based on trust and that you can't have love without trust. And she even reminds me that this is the last day. She tells me if I love her, I wouldn't let her be ignorant to the answer like everyone else. I'm a man. I know how to deal with pressure. I can rip a lion in half with my bare hands. But apparently I can't take 7 straight days of "Why don't you love me?" because I caved harder than a house built on sand in a storm. Sure enough, a few moments later, her family comes up and gives me the answer to the riddle. Ooh. I was thinking, that cow! As a matter of fact, I even told them, you wouldn't have known that answer if you hadn't plowed with my heifer. I'm devastated. I don't have the money to give 30 new outfits. I'm also angry. So what do? I go take out a community loan from her cousins. Permanent. So that marriage ended abruptly. Do you think I was done with love? Nope. I was even more confident in falling in love. In comes my second lady, Delilah. Well, this time was going to be different because I learned my most important lesson in love from my last one. I now knew the secret to a long-lasting and successful marriage. You both may have come from 2 different backgrounds and do things differently. But one thing you have to remember is this. Never ask a riddle. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. So I'm being good and keeping all my riddles to myself, and suddenly one day, she just asked, "What's the secret to my strength?" I know the answer to that, but it wouldn't be a secret if I told somebody. But I know how this goes because if I don't give her an answer, this will be no different than my last marriage. So I just started making random stuff up. I told her to tie me up with bowstrings and I'll be weaker than a kitten. I go to sleep and wake up to her yelling about Philistines being upon me and end up ripping through a bunch of bowstrings that somehow got tied around my wrist. It was very perplexing, and I didn't see any Philistines anywhere. So by coincidence, she figured out I was lying about the bowstrings. Boy, was she mad. So I had to tell her, did I say bowstrings? I meant to say new ropes. I go to sleep and wake up to her screaming about the Philistines again. Well, this time, I had to break free of some new ropes. If you're paying attention at this point in the story, you should be seeing a pattern. Every time I tell her something that'll make me weak and then go to sleep, a pack of Philistines runs by and she gets scared thinking they're coming for her. So I give her the wrong answer a few more times, hoping I'll get up and catch those suckers before they get out of there. Come to find out, it was her the whole time. Everything I said she'd do, and then ask more questions. Let me tell you something, don't be like me. If your partner keeps on experimenting on you, that's not romance, that's research. Don't think that you're their love. You're their lab study. Next thing you know, she's putting on a show about how I don't love her and how I don't trust her. Boy, she put on a good show. It was so good that I actually ended up telling her. Fast forward, skip ahead, and there I am in a Coliseum wearing chains, being expected to perform. But it's okay. I learned how to put on a show from the best because of my wife and Delilah. In fact, my show was better than both of theirs. I brought the house down.
Oh my, that light is blinking again. I guess it's time to check my voicemails.
Voicemail messages. You have one new message. Press 1 to listen. Press.
Hey, Nick, this your boy. The one you call prodigal? What does that even mean? I never looked it up. What is a prodigal? Look, I know last month I was riding high on a horse and I invited you to that party that you never showed up to. You don't know what you missed. That party was lit. But right now, I kind of need some help, man. I'm kind of homeless and I'm kind of hungry. If you could just give me some food, that would be enough, man. Please, man, I need this. You know what? I've been watching these pigs for less than minimum wage. I ought to turn one of them into bacon or roast ham or some of that stuff like they be having at my father's house. I'm just scared if they catch me, I'm going to have to pay with my hands. All my life, I'm not trying to make it my last meal. You know what? I could just eat what the pigs are eating. I bet nobody is paying attention to how much of that is going to the pigs. Yeah, that would be free food with no penalties. Oh my gosh. What have I done with my life? I'm gonna let you go, man. I'm having a moment. I'll hit you back later.
Message complete. To hear the message again, press 1. To delete the message, press 2. To skip this message, press 3.
Now it's time for Christian Apologetics. This is the part of the show where I take time to apologize one at a time for all the things that Christians have ever done wrong. That is absolutely not what Christian Apologetics is. Sure it is, because I am going to be apologizing, which makes me apologetic. That means everything that I am saying from this moment forward will be apologetics. Show me where I'm wrong. Well played. You can't, can you? Now I'm going to have to let you say what you're going to say anyway, because now I need time to even figure out where to start to tell you how wrong that was. You heard the man. I'm right. Let's get into it. To God, I apologize for every time I said God told me to or God told me not to, just to keep other Christians from disputing my decisions. I shouldn't use your name like that unless you actually told me something. Although I must admit, it is convenient. I'm sorry, and I'll try to do better. To my pastor, I apologize for sleeping during your sermon. It's not you, it's me. Your sermons are great, but sometimes I'm just trying to check the I went to church box, so I lose interest in the word. I'm sorry. To the church, I'm sorry that I told you God told me not to, or God told me to, just so that I can make a bad decision without you being able to correct me. I already talked to God about it, and I'm gonna be working on it. I'm sorry. Lastly, to the world, I'm sorry for putting the Jesus fish on the back of my car and then using that car to cut you off in traffic. And then, when you blow at me to let me know that I cut you off, I'm sorry for holding a different symbol out of the window than the Jesus fish that is on the back of my car. I'm sorry, and I'm working on it. Thank you for joining me for another segment of Christian Apologetics. Apologetics isn't about saying I'm sorry. It's Christians giving honest answers with grace and truth and respect. And really, I'm sorry that so many people are going to misunderstand that now thanks to your program. That apology was the most apologetics thing you have done all segment. See, even you get it. Apologetics. We have so many skeptics around nowadays who use the fact that we weren't around during the Bible days to dispute whether miracles really happened. You know what? I'm going back to the past to see what skeptics had to say at the times that the miracles happened. Let's go into the past together and see. This is your host, Nicholas Tatum, and I'm here to talk to skeptic Cyrus Feldman. Cyrus believes that Daniel being alive after just being released from the lion's den is not miraculous and doesn't deserve the credit being given to it by the king. Can you break it down for us and tell us your thoughts on the situation?
Well, the first thing you have to know is that Daniel is a friend of the king. This is very likely a conspiracy by the king and Daniel to get the people behind Daniel's God for some clandestine political reason.
Are you claiming that the entire situation was rigged from the very beginning to project a certain outcome?
Yes. I bet those lions weren't even hungry. The king had them fed before Daniel was placed in the lion den. Not only that, the ones in the den were pet lions, and they know better than to attack a human.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but breaking news is just coming in. It seems that those who set Daniel up to be thrown into the lion's den have been thrown into the lion's den themselves, along with their families. I'm being told that the lions have viciously mauled and made a meal out of everyone thrown in. In light of this breaking news, would you care to explain your theory a little bit more?
Well, you see, that was just one of my theories on how they kept him alive. I mean, there's plenty of other ways they could have done it, I know. There was a hidden room inside one of the lions' dens where Daniel could safely wait the night out and without the lions being able to make contact with him.
Eyewitness accounts say that when Daniel was being lifted out of the lion's den, the lions were still freely walking about with nothing keeping them from getting to Daniel. Why do you suppose they chose not to attack him, even though he was outside of the secret room that you mentioned?
Oh, that's a good question. And you know that question deserves a good answer. And a good answer to that question is,
I hate to interrupt, but I only have a few more moments. So my question to you is, are you now realizing and admitting that that was a miracle?
no, I never said that. I never said that. I was just about to give you the answer to the question, but now I feel like you trying to pressure me into drinking the Kool-Aid and accepting the narrative that's being scripted by Daniel and the king. And because of that, I don't think I have anything else to say to you besides letting you know that him surviving that lion's den was not a miracle. It was a conspiracy, and I'm through.
It sounds to me as if this interview is over, and by overwhelming fact that the incident was indeed a miracle. Well, this has been your host, Nicholas Tatum, with Skeptical Interviews. Hey, if you enjoyed any portions of this show, you might find yourself interested in my book series. The Jesus Freak book series is a 4-book series that'll help you get deeper in your faith through story and action. You can find out more about it at www.officialjesusfreak.com. And you can also reach me at info@officialjesusfreak.com. Be sure to use TCVS or Tatum Christian Variety Show as the subject line. Until next time, trust God with the impossible and live your faith boldly.
Did you get the answer right? This has been the Tatum Christian Variety Show, brought to you by Tatum Creative. Your host, Nicholas Tatum, wants you to have a blessed week.